it was like at least for that amount of time, felt like the perfect kind of startup ride, I'd say. But again, I think Fat Llama was the polar opposite. The story I always talk about with Fat Llama in terms of perseverance was, you know, I was, maybe very early 20s, obviously. And, at that time, when you believe in something and you're raising a small angel round, so this is pre-YC, right? We were raising, I think maybe $50,000, maybe $100,000, which, nowadays is like, I suppose back then, at least then it meant everything to us. We were scraping around, we were doing half an hour pitches with an angel that might put in $2,000, right? Yeah. We were just doing everything we could. We fundamentally believed in this idea. And anyway, so we built the MVP, we launched, and I started accounting. So I was big on are the numbers gonna make sense, right? So I had my forecasted average transaction value, my retention, everything else. So we launched, and pretty much straight away, within the first day, we got a rental, and the rental was for $600. So I'm over the moon. I'm updating, one of the first things I did is I'm straight into the financial model and I'm updating the average order value. And this thing is looking crazy. I'm like, we're going to the moon. Right. And so that was on Friday. It was due to be returned on Sunday lunchtime. All right. And remember, the criticism I got, I probably did 100 pitches to raise money, and maybe 1 out of 100, I must have done close to 1,000 in the end would say yes, but all the other 99 was no one's gonna lend out an item because everyone's gonna steal them. And even if you have insurance, the insurance isn't gonna work, right? Anyway, so and that's all I'm thinking, it's all we're thinking about at the time. So we had this first rental. Anyway, it got to Sunday, and the lender of the item called us and said, I can't get a hold of the borrower of this item. So we're like, okay, it's fine. And then we realized after a couple of hours, he wasn't responding, and we started to get a bit nervous.